This video is actually an instructional video to myself, so I can remember how I made these shamrock cards. This is my second year making this particular box card from SVG Cuts. I love her designs, absolutely. She has the most interesting, intricate, cute, very sophisticated patterns, and she has put a lot of time and effort in all of her SVG files. She does a great job with her instructional videos, and her prices are the best in the market. Plus, she gives you all the tips and tricks and what paper she used, and she's just adorable, and her patterns are super, super cute. This one is called, I believe, Lucky Clovers, or something similar to that. I bought the pattern last year, and this year I revised it a little bit for myself. I wanted just one little or two things different than what she did. First of all, I don't think she uses any designer paper. Well, I love Stampin' Up! Designer paper, and I literally have thousands of sheets. So I had this cute paper last year from Graphics 45, which I said, well, I just must make this clover card from SVG Cuts because this little pattern is so adorable. I got to put it on something. So this is her pattern. I've cut all my pieces, and now I made an instructional video for myself so I'd remember how I did it. Now, there's a few things from her pattern that I changed. I made many extra clovers because I was making a batch of these. I was making about a dozen to give away. So I put my own little sentiment down here from a downloaded file that I purchased, these little gnomes. I did the cut and print from Cricut to make those. I used Stampin' Up! Paper, I used Graphics 45 paper, and my cardstock is from Joann's. I used the Basil paper from Joann's that you buy by the sheet. I used two colors of green from there, and then I used a third color for one of the inserts that's Stampin' Up! Paper called Garden Green. You can use a third color from Basil, but there wasn't one that actually kind of went with this, or that would match my Stampin' Up! Paper. This is a new Stampin' Up! Paper that just came out. I'll have a note below what the name of that one is. I think it's called Delightful Florals. It's new. The white paper on here is also Basil paper. Its color number is Avalanche. The dark green that I used is Avocado, and the lighter green Basil paper is called Rainforest. I used sponge daubers to do the sponging, and I used a sponge pad and adapter handle from Tim Holtz to do the overall sponging of all the green pieces first. This paper here came from some paper pack that I bought a long, long time ago. It's kind of gold. It's not like shiny gold, but it's gold. This is from Graphics 45. I can't remember the actual name of the paper, but I'll put it down in my description. So there's my finished card. It does fold flat. And to put it in an envelope, it has to be folded to the right to fit in the envelope that comes with the pattern. I changed the envelope just slightly from her pattern because she does all of her envelopes on the diagonal, and I like to usually write the person's name on the front of the envelope. So it's so time consuming to have to go and change everything from 45 degree back to 90 degree back to 45 degree to try to get it to cut properly with a Cricut. So I just created my own envelope, but it's still, what she has works perfect because she has a great design and it fits on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And your card will fit perfectly inside of her designs. Everything she makes is been tested and retested, I'm sure, over and over because all of her parts go together so spectacularly. So stay tuned and I'll show you how I put together my Lucky Clover card. Okay, here's sort of my start to finish on this project. I've cut all my pieces, and I've cut all my little shamrocks. I've cut some that are reverse of the pattern because not all my designer paper had a pretty back. So I made some that were reversed so that I could use them on the back part of the card. The back part of the card, this stuff, these clovers have to be reversed because actually this is the front. This is the way it is cut. So I've got all my pieces cut. I got my little flowers. I got my little shamrocks. I've got my tools. And I have inked all the edges of all this designer paper. I have put little inking in the center of these flowers. I have used my embossing tool and made little lines in it so that they could be kind of folded like a petal on the flower. I've assembled all of my little miscellaneous flower buds that hang off of things. I've inked all of my pieces. All have edges either inked around the edge with a pen. That's why I did the shamrocks. The paper pieces of the actual card have been inked with a scrubber, a Tim Holtz type scrubber, and green archival ink. So now I'm ready to assemble the card. These are the pieces. This is the back. And the back of the card, actually the way it's cut, this is the texture front of the paper. So I wanted it on the back. So when you turn it over to see your sentiment, that's the pretty side of the paper. So this is the back. I've already glued down this one little piece because I didn't think of making this video until I'd done that. Here's our little panels I cut out of designer paper to go on the end caps. And there's our little end caps, both of those. They'll get glued on. This is the inside back piece that will go right here, but it can't be put on until the end caps are put on so that this piece covers up this join, because you don't want to have joins that look like that. That's kind of tacky, ugly. So you're going to basically put the box together and then put this over it. And that's why I'm doing this little video, so I can see how I did it. Now we're going to put buds onto this piece. This is the inside panel, so it'll get decorated with clovers and a bud. And this is the inside panel of the front, which will have the little bud and 2 shamrocks. This is the front of the card. I've already glued this down because that's very cumbersome. And how I did that was I took a stamping block, acrylic block. I covered it with glue, kind of rubbed it with my finger and stirred it up, laid this in the glue, and then stuck it on here. And then wiped off any excess before it dried with a damp cloth. And we'll put our strips here and here. Okay, so let's put it together. What I'm going to start with is the back, because I'm going to put these clovers on. And the way I want to do it is on the very back, I want to put a clover here and a clover here. It doesn't need much, but it has to be these reversed clovers. These are the ones that either you have paper that has something pretty on the back that you don't mind using, or you're going to have to cut some mirrored, or just reverse them before you go to cut them. Mirroring probably would work just as well as any. I kind of dent these like this. I put some glue. Oh, that was too much. Okay, let's just dab it. You could put these on with tape, or if you can find those crazy tape dispensers we used to use that you could run it through and it made them like a sticker, that would be fabulous. But you really don't want to glue down the edges of this because it makes it more 3D if you just glue them kind of around the center part. Okay, there's one there, and then I'm going to put, I really like that, but I don't know. It might be cute to be different. Well, or no, that one can't work. It's not reversed. Okay, so let's just bend that one up a little bit and try this, see what it looks like. Yeah, it'll be different. I don't have another green one, so we're just gonna put a little glue there, and I kind of tap it just to make sure it's not too globby. And we're gonna put that right there. where it goes over the petal as if it were squished down. There we go. Alrighty. And then there's really not one that fits this particular clover. There's not any pre-cut that she actually included in the cuttings. So I'm just going to take one that has a little ink on it, maybe one of these that's cut out of the paper, and maybe just put it there. So no, I don't like that. So let's try one of these. Let's just put this over what's there. It doesn't really match it, but you can it makes it sort of like a little shadow around it, so we can do that. And this will be glued down on all its corners so that it's not too floppy and interfering with the folding of our card. Okay, so there's 3 little shamrocks on there. I could have done 3 different styles, I guess, if I'd have had more things cut. Okay, we're going to put our sentiment here in the middle, which is on the little cutout of the gnomes. These are included in my pattern that I created, and I have very, very lightly inked it around the edges. I'm going to put it on with tape runner. And center that right there in the hole. Okay, so the very, very back is finished except for this strip. And because the way this gets glued together, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down and put my little gold piece on right here. You can use a printed, I've made them both ways, shiny gold, or you can do like a foil gold. You can do a print that's, some of them have this print on the back of them, which is not bad. Kind of looks cute with the gnomes because it has little shamrocks in the print. Okay, I'm going to glue that up. Okay, it makes that little band. Now, the original instructions from SVG Cuts. Oh, I wasn't supposed to glue that down yet. I got to put a little piece across the top. She does not fold this down. I mean, on the front part that has this little flap. She doesn't fold all those down, but I think it looks kind of stupid. It just doesn't do right. So I fold it down, glue it down. Hers are just folded. They're not really glued in place. Okay, I'm gonna put a piece of gold here. Get that in the middle, right there. And I've peeled that back up because we gotta put one across there. Forgot about the little part that goes across here. Okay, and just put that matching the bottom, just like so. Now we can stick those back down. Okay, just like that. So that's the very back finished. And the inside of the back, now we're gonna decorate it. And the inside of the back will have a big shamrock here, and I like to use the ones that I made kind of 3D by gluing 2 pieces of this together. It kind of makes them stiff, really stiff, because I glued another piece of designer paper on the back because I didn't want the red showing. So this one would go, let's see, it goes this way, goes here. So I'm gonna glue that one down here. And I'm really just kind of do the center so it'll stay 3D looking, because I've bent these in the middle and they'll stay that way because they're 2 pieces of stock. And it matches up to the one on the back. Makes that corner a little heavy, but it doesn't matter, it is a box card. So we got that piece. Now let's see. Don't have anything here, but I like something there, so we've put that. Let's put a flower, goes here on this corner, and it goes, let's see, this way. Yep. So we're gonna do something to hold the petal down on the corner and something there, and it goes like that. So I'm gonna put a little on these other appendages and stick it like that. Now this glue dries clear, so it doesn't really matter if you see it now, when you won't see it later. Okay, so that goes there. And you can also, if you want to, put some of this gold liquid pearl stuff or green liquid pearl stuff in the center of these flowers. Okay, and then it needs one, this piece here will go on top of that, but it doesn't get put on until you actually put the card flaps on the sides, because you want this to cover up where the flaps are joined. So we're through with that. I don't think that needs anything else since this is going to go on top of it. So we'll just set that aside for a moment. And on this one, it's going to take 2 of these little flowers, and you can tell which way they go. It has a little dip there, diphthong, and this side has a little diphthong. And there's a way to put these together. It's 2 pieces. It's a piece that looks like a flying bird, and it goes on top of the other piece. I put a little sponging of yellow at the tops before I glued down the little bud holder. And that's all glued together as a unit. And I'm just going to put glue on here. And like so. And I'm going to use my tweezer and lay that in place. Just like that. And I'm going to pick that up and wipe off my mat so it's not too sticky. Okay, there we go. And you can use a silicone mat under these kind of things so that you don't have glue on everywhere and everything. And your paper, don't have to worry about your paper not lasting because it's covered with glue. I just didn't want to get the mat out today. I've already started this project and I didn't go gather all of my stuff. There we go. All right, so now that's glued on there. So those are the 2 little buds, and that's going to go with the inside piece like so. Okay, we're going to still put that aside because we're not ready to put that together yet. Okay, on this one, this goes on the inside front, so it's going to need its little bud. See, I've already pre-assembled all my little extra pieces here, and it goes this direction. She doesn't normally use little bitty pieces like this, but on this particular project she did, which I like it because it does give it a little bit more personality. Now both of these clovers are going to need a design on them. So I'm going to put one of, let's see, maybe one of these because I just love this paper. And these have all been inked too around the edges. Let's see, it goes like that. Okay, so I want to give it its little bend. Goes like that, and I'm going to put glue here and here. I'm not going to put it down to here because this is going to be right up against the front of the card, and I want to be able to pull the leaves of this to the outside of the card. Okay, so there's that one. And then I want to put something on there. Maybe one of these. I love this new Stampin' Up! Designer paper. It's so pretty. Let's see if I have another one to go. Oh, I don't have another piece of that cut. Nope. These are the other sizes. Okay, let's try this one then. That might be okay. So let's see. It goes like that. Okay, and again, I'm only going to glue down this part up here and not go past the front because I want to be able to put this on the outside of the card. Okay, so I'm going to glue those kind of down, and then these are going to stay unattached down here like that so that I can put it over the front. I'm going to make a little bend in these while the glue is wet, and when the glue dries, it makes them very stiff. Okay, so that's our little panel that goes inside. Oh my goodness, my phone is ringing. I'm just going to ignore it for now. So, okay, now this is the very front of the card. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my 2 gold panels on here. To fold these up and have them nice and crisp, you do need a bone folder. So, I'm going to use tape just because it takes a lot of glue to hold that down, and I have to stand here and hold it. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to use score tape. I'm not using the largest of work surfaces today either. This is my new little counter I'm trying out so that I can stand up to work. Put this right here, here. Okay, and save that tidbit. Take this off. I'm throwing all my trash in the floor. My cleaning ladies would not be happy. Okay, push that down, push that down. Okay, make sure the card is not warped from having this glued on with so much glue. It kind of makes the card a little warped, which if you have that problem, you can always take your hair dryer and kind of warm up the paper and then just press it for a while and it'll kind of straighten out. Or you can lay them on a counter with like a heavy cutting board on them or something like that. I do that sometimes after I've glued some big pieces together like this. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my gold on here so that I can, when I do put it together with that in the front, I'll be able to go ahead and put my shamrocks in the way and down. Go ahead and put my gold paper. Okay, and this is, I'm just using a tape runner for this. This particular brand, this new AdTech tape, it's permanent. It is extremely sticky. So it's not like using the old snail from Stampin' Up. It is extremely sticky. It's not gonna come off. It's as good as using glue almost, or score tape. It's very sticky. Okay, now see, that might have been a little pretty if I'd had a different kind of contrast of paper. Maybe the little print or something like that. Like this one has a little print on it. So maybe some sort of little contrast would have been cuter, but hey, too late. All right, so there's the gold. Now we have that piece done, our insert that's gonna go right behind it done. We have our back piece done. Now let's work on our inside piece. Okay, the inside piece goes this direction. These little things are opposite of what the other one was. This is the front because it folds away from us, like so. So this paper is not textured, so I have to know which one's the front because most of these are textured, so I know that's the front of the paper. Okay, I'm gonna put a shamrock here. We're gonna put our little bud on. This could use a little ink or put something on it, and then there needs to be a shamrock here, here, and a flower. So I might just put a little ink right there to give it a little definition. So I'm just gonna rub that with my inker. Yeah, just a little bit, like so. Okay. Now, I'm gonna put one here, and I don't have any more of this pretty paper. So I guess I'll use one of these this time there because since my pretty paper is not that particular cut. So let's see, it goes like so. So we'll have one here. And you can lay them out and say, okay, no, I don't like it in that order, and change them around. Just do it before you glue it down. Okay, I'm gonna put it just like so. I'm going to, while it's still wet, I'm gonna do a little dent in it like that, just to give it a little dimension. Okay, now we have to have a flower up here. And I put the shamrock on first because I want the flower to kind of be on top of it. So my flower, little dimension to it, and it goes like this way. So I'm gonna put a little star shape of glue. Okay, press it. Okay. All right, make sure if you're using paper and you do that and some glue comes out, pick it up, make sure you're not, otherwise when you pick this up, it's gonna tear paper off and it's gonna make your card ugly. So let's put something here that's pretty like this. And do I have a dimensional one? Yes, I do, right here. So let's put, it goes this way. All right, so let's put that down. Another little star shape of glue. Lay it in the glue. Press it for a minute. Wipe it off. Okay. Alrighty. And then I want to put one down here since I just inked that part. So I think I will use, I haven't used this one much. Let's see, where's that other little stack? How about this particular one? He's kind of cute. So let's put him down here. Now he doesn't have anything he has to hang over, so he can just be glued flat. And he goes like that. So let's put some glue on him. And these I inked on the back and the front just in case I had to turn them over and use them on the back. You can cut as many shamrocks as you want. Just keep cutting them until you get so you can have a nice variety. Now in her pattern pack, her pattern doesn't have that many for you to cut, but you can just duplicate it and cut as many as you want. And she didn't put as many on hers as I did. She used a lot of cardstock ones like these, but I like the designer paper if I can use it. Okay, and then I've got to put the little flower here, and it has its little epaulette going the other way. As you can see the little notch here, this little notch here. So we're going to put glue on here. And I use my tweezer and just lay that down on there. Okay. All right, so now our inside panel is done. Okay, so we have our front, we have our inside panel, and now let's do our ends. And these have been inked, and the way I inked them is I go ahead and fold the paper, and then I take this rubber and I just kind of rub it across the top like that, and then around the edges. And that just gives it a little dimension of, you know, everything looks better when it has a little dimension to it. Okay, I'm gonna put these on with tape. They're a little warped again because I put the little panels together with glue because I didn't want them peeling up. But since this tape is just super strong, I'm going to tape it on with all the edges and across the center. And these have been inked around the edges so that the paper doesn't show white on the edges. I used my markers and just run them around the edge of the cutouts. And this one. Across the middle. And just line it up in the center. Center it top, bottom, left, right. This is the cutest paper ever. And I used this because, in honor of my sweet husband who died in August, because it's forget-me-nots. Forget-me-not. Okay, get these nice and folded. And that's folded and folded. Okay, I think we're ready to actually put it together. So what we're gonna need first is the back piece that we finished. And it's all ready to go, and all the glue seems to be dry now. It's a little floppy because I put a lot of additions on there, but who cares, it's pretty. Okay, so this is the back. Now these little panels are gonna go like this and like this. And the way I make sure mine is lined up correctly, and I'm going to use score pal tape, is I'm going to put my tape. You can use 1/2-inch tape or 1/4-inch tape, or you can just use your glue. I'm going to put tape, score pal tape, and I'm going to put it as close to the fold as I can get without, you know, screwing up. Cut that off. Do this side as close to the fold without going over the fold. Hard to do holding it up in the air. Just get that like so and cut off. Now, I want it to be perfectly lined up with this edge right here and the bottom that's already been folded. And the piece should fit exactly at the edge of this and the edge of this, and then where it's folded to the edge of that, the inset. So what you can do is take your, make sure you got your design going the right direction. Don't put it on upside down. Pull that in. Okay, and the way I do it is I just take this and I lay it down here like where it would be lined up. You can use your grid paper, even helps a little bit. I might do that. So here's the bottom. I know it's gonna be lined up with the bottom, and I wanna make sure it butts right up to here and lined up with the top and the bottom, just like so. And I'm gonna lay it down. Now there they're matching. That is right in line with that. So I should be able to just press that, and sure enough, it matches right there perfectly. And now I'm gonna really rub it and make sure the tape's in place, just like so. So there that one is attached. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Some tape on it. Did I use all that piece? Guess I did. Guess I did. Oh, nope, there's a piece. Okay, put him on there. A little short. Not as accurate as I used to be when I did this all the time. Okay, let's put this on this side, like so. And gotta have a little tad there to go to the edge. Okay, again, get that tape squished down. Uh-oh, my end came off. My little tidbit came off. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna use the dotted glue because that's just too much trouble. Okay, now, tap, tap. Same thing again. I'm gonna put it on my paper. So I know where the bottom is. Line this up so that this is butt up to that little cut edge. Now, she does hers a lot differently than I do. She actually holds them up in the air and does like that and matches them up. But she's using glue all the time. Sometimes I like to use tape because I don't want to have to hold it till it's dry. Okay, now you can see that my bottoms match up across there, evenly across here. It matches up with the edges there at the top. So these things are in the correct place. Now, before we put the card together, we can actually put this piece on that we made right here. And it's gonna go just like this. And it's gonna line up with the top. And line up with the top here and here. And you can see it comes right up to the edges here and almost to the edges there to center it, just like so. And I'm gonna put that in with tape, the tape runner. Because again, this is pretty strong tape. If you put three stripes across there and one across each end, you're pretty much, see, it's really tough. See how it sticks to your finger? You can't even let it touch your fingers. It's very strong. And it is very permanent. You have no, as we used to say, you had a few seconds with snail. You don't have any seconds with this. Okay, line it up with the top. Center it. And press that down. Now that has a nice little cover over the little flats we just put. Now, this is going to get glued to the back, so they won't be flopping. So I'm just going to put one little dot. Let's see, where is it going to land? It's going to land on this petal. So I'm going to put it right. Oh, I almost got it right there. And again, don't let it get glued to your paper. And then this one is going to kind of stick to, we're going to let it stick to this shamrock. So just put it on the back of the petal itself and hold it for a minute till it gets stuck to this shamrock. Okay, and that's how that works. And it's still light and airy. It's not, you know, flat. Okay, so there we go. Now, the rest of them are a little bit more difficult because now we're going to have to assemble the card, and when we do that, it's going to make it harder to get stuff in there. But I like to put this piece on next, and she doesn't do it that way. So if you're watching her video and you're going, well, that's not how she did it, I just do it that way because it's easier for me. So this piece is actually going to be right here, but it's going to be away from the back, the depth of this flap. So this flap is going to be glued right there on this side. So, and it'll be glued right here on this side. Well, to me, it's just easier to do that before we put the front of the card on. So I'm going to fold this open. I'm just going to use tape this time. I usually use glue so I have time to change my mind. But I've done this enough times now. I think I have it down. So we're gonna take this, and where this fold is where this is gonna butt up against. So we're gonna put it right here, and it's gonna line up with the top. Now be aware that the flap is at a slant. So you want to make sure that it's straight up and down with this fold line. And if you need to make a little mark where you can see it, because it's really hard to see on this dark paper. And then that's the top, just like that. So it lines up with the back of the card right there on the fold. And it folds flat, and it is almost straight. It's hard to see when it's folded like that. Okay. Now this piece, you should be able to just put tape here and fold this over. I have done that, and guess what? I'm gonna try it this time, but I'm gonna use glue so that I have time to change my mind if it's not quite right. No forgiveness with tape. And do just like that. Hold it for just a second and see if it opens. Now I want to see if it folds the other way. And it's off the fold just a hair, so I'm going to just kind of press the fold down so that it's in the right place, so that it hinges. Okay, it appears to be in the right place. That's just the way I do it. She does not do that. She actually puts all these in after she gets the box built. To me, that just is, it's messy, it's hard to work with. She's done it a million times, so it's easy for her. Okay, the other piece is the front. It goes here, but this piece goes in there also. Now, if you don't care about the flaps being covered up, because that's what these pieces are for. When you put this together, she puts the other inside so that you don't see those flaps. You can do that, and that's probably what I'll do this time, just to make sure. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this piece on, and I'm gonna put it on the same way I did a while ago. I'll take off my little tape. Okay, and it's gonna get lined up with that right there. Has to butt up to this, and then the tops have to match. So you can take it. Now this, she always holds hers up in the air like this, so you can try it, see if it works for you. May not, especially with these dark colors. I'm gonna have to turn it around a little bit away from the camera because I can't get the light quite right to see it. I want that to butt up right there, but the tops have to match like so. Okay, I just barely have touched that tape to the paper. Yeah, it's right. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it over, and I'm gonna take this and press it down, press it down, press it down, press it down. Yep, okay, so that's nice and flat in there. Okay, now, it should just all match up, but I should be able just to close this flap and it stick to this. And it looks pretty accurate. I'm gonna make sure that the top lines up, because sometimes they're off just a little wonky, just a tiny little hair, and this one is, it's off just a little bit, so I'm just gonna make sure it lines up here, here, and up here at the top. And then if the folds aren't quite right, they'll just get creased as they're folded. Okay, so now the card is nice and flat, so we know that it'll open and close and open and close, just like so. Okay. My fingers are so sticky, I'm sticking everything. Okay, now, so that's all pretty much together. It folds and folds. The card actually folds to the right to go in the envelope. It has to be folded this direction to fit in the envelope that came with the pattern. Okay, so there's that. And I changed the envelope a little bit also from what she uses. Okay, just for sometimes Cricut gives me an error that it doesn't want to cut it. Okay, so now this has these little holes so that they shine through this little grid right here. So you want to make sure that those holes line up. Pull your little leaves out of the way here and here. Okay, and it's going to line up with the top of the card and with those holes. And that's just pretty much simple. It just glue it in there. And I actually am going to use glue, I think. Yeah, No, I think I'm going to use tape runner so that it can hurry up and stick down. Okay, and I'm going to put a piece across here, right at the edge. I'm going to put it at the real ends, and the ends, and I'm going to put just a tenth little bit there. Okay, so before I press it down, I have to make sure that it's in the right place. So hold it up to the light. I'm going to get the top lined up, and I'm going to make sure I can see through those holes. Can't do it and hold it up in the air. And here's something else that I saw someone else do one time when they were trying to match up holes. And they actually, come on. It should just match up when you put your, if it matches with the top. But you want to be able to see through your little lattice work. It's one of the hardest parts. That's why I like to do mine first. She likes to do hers after. Okay, it appears that if I put my hand in there, let's see. If I put something light colored behind it, let's see if it's lined up. It is almost right. It's got to go a little bit to the right. Just have to work with it a little bit. Make sure it's lined up. Yes, okay, now I can see that it's lined up perfectly with the holes. Now I'm going to make sure it's lined up with the top. And it is. I'm going to pinch, and then I'm going to press it down and press flat. Yep, and I can see perfectly through there that it's lined up. Yay. Okay. So that is the whole card there. And now these little pieces here on the front, I'm just going to leave them unglued. I want them just to kind of be dimensional. So I'm just going to pull them down, bend them back down. And that's the front. This is the ends. There's the back. And I have one little spot right here that I must not have got tape on. So I'm going to put a little dot of glue there. I'm going to make sure there's no little strays, as I call them, corners that get straight or don't get glued well. Just get off the excess there because I don't want it to show shiny. Okay, and that's the finished card. Now, if you want, like you say, well, it's a card, where can I put my name? I'll show you how to do mine. I have my name on stickers. So I just take my little sticker, and up inside of here, I just put it right there. Okay. Now, the pattern I've revised has an envelope. The envelope is a little different layout than what she had. It still works the same. And I put a little writing on it right here that says fold card to right to fit envelope. So you press it to the right, and it should fit in the envelope, like so. And just, you want to make sure all your little flowers are glued on good, because when you're putting it in and out the envelope, it's a tight fit. Push it all the way down. And then the envelope fits it perfectly. Of course, you're never going to put this in the mail anyway, unless you're going to put it inside of another big envelope to mail it. So there's your envelope to store it in, and there's your shamrock card. And it's a happy St. Patrick's Day to anyone who receives it.